So for all this while, I've been dealing with a lot of powerful PC throughout my time here doing reviews, testing games, hardwares. But when it comes to PC that is designed for low power usage, which is the kind of PC you don't use for AAA games or those high-end rendering stuff. So when it comes to low-powered mini PC like the GEEKOM Mini PC we have right here, but what other uses you can use for this kind of mini PC aside from games? Well, let's talk about that. Since we're doing a mini PC video today, I will introduce this mini PC from GEEKOM. It's actually a pretty reasonable mini PC, I would say, because although specs wise it's not the latest 12th gen Intel, it's from the 8th gen, but if you look at what it has to offer, it's actually very reasonable. Now, starting from the IOs, you have one USB 3 at the front, USB-C, two USB 3 at the back, and another USB-C at the back. So that's for your USB connectivity. That's plentiful enough, because if we look at laptops, that's the kind of I/O we get most of the time. And let's not forget, you have an Ethernet port, mini display port, HDMI. That's really useful if you're using this for like perhaps digital signage, office PC, or even mini games PC for your kids. At least it can still run those games. So I'm not gonna just throw gaming out of the window because it's just a mini PC. So when it comes to power consumption, well, it's actually very low. When it's on load, you're getting roughly around 60 plus watt drawing from the wall. So that's really reasonable if you're not the kind of people who likes to deal with high-end PCs and you just need a system that can get you through the day. And despite the size, you can actually see some honeycomb mesh at both sides, which is useful for the ventilation, and that gets the heat out of the PC itself while drawing in cool air to cool this unit. Although when it's on load, it's probably gonna go around 90 degrees plus, but that is when you're doing a lot of heavy loads, and that's not really the kind of things this PC is designed for. And speaking of office work, yes, surprisingly they did include an SD card slot right here. So if you just want to snap a photo, import the pictures inside and send it to perhaps your friend so he can help you to edit the pictures without you having to do all the things inside this mini PC, yes, it's also another useful feature. If you ask me, what am I doing with this low power PC, because I've been dealing with a lot of high powered PC with latest hardwares? Well, honestly, I tried to game on this, it doesn't work. But that's for those heavy AAA titles. If you were to look at indie games, games that doesn't really require heavy graphics, this thing can handle it very well. And if you look at the footage right here, we actually tried some fun games like Terraria, Starbound, or even this kind of vampire running around games. Yes, it can handle it very well. So if you're using this maybe in your living room, everyone can use it, and you just need some time off with mini games like this, it will work. And if you don't want to use it for that purpose, you can even use this just as your HTPC, leave it at your living room, connect it to your TV, it works. And the best part is, instead of building an ITX build just for the mini PC, this thing is actually even better for that very purpose because of the low power draw and of course small footprint on the table. And let's not forget, they actually included another mount where you can actually mount the unit behind your monitor or TV, so that saves you a lot of trouble thinking of where to put it on your table or your TV stand. Now, speaking of the specs, it's actually powered by an 8th gen i5U processor as stated on the box. It's an i5-8259U. Still pretty powerful for a small build like this. You get 512 gigs worth of NVMe SSD, 16 gig of RAMs. That's plentiful enough for a small PC like this. So the conclusion, who is this mini PC for? Well, it's definitely not for people like who are dealing with AAA titles, doing heavy workload like video renderings. Yes, that's not the kind of things this mini PC is designed for. But for people maybe like my aunts, my mother, my grandfather, or even your parents, if they really just need a system for daily use, web surfing, going through some documents, or even use it for your home entertainment, this is really the kind of system you can really consider for. Like I mentioned just now, the small footprint, low power draw, and the spec itself is plentiful enough. And guess what? This thing is only priced at $449. That's US dollars. Looking at what it can deliver for that price, I don't really have much to complain about, especially for the 512 gigs worth of NVMe SSD storage and the 16 gigs worth of RAM. You can do a lot of things on this. Of course, you don't think about AAA game titles. It's never gonna work. And yes, that's pretty much it for the video this time. Do let us know what you think about the GEEKOM Mini IT8 PC right here. Would you buy a small system like this for your non-AAA title, or perhaps heavy rendering work? Just use it for your HTPC, even for your family? Tell us in the comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.